Dee dum, and we are recording. Not a what's up, folks. It's more of a special what's up. In fact, it's not even a what's up. It's just an update video. And this update video comes with some rather big news to do with vaping in the United Kingdom. First of all, yes, there has been health issues on my side. If you haven't watched the previous episode of the UK Vape Show, I go into much more detail there, but basically I've been in and out of hospital a lot since the beginning of July. There were tumour-like polyps found. It's not the first time this has happened, but it's the first time it's not the first time these have appeared, but it's the first time they've appeared in the particular part of the digestive tract where they were actually found. I've been getting more and more stomach issues cropping up since Christmas, and tumour, the benign, it's not cancer, right? It's not cancer, but they were benign tumour-like polyp growths that were popping up on the upper foot to foot and a half of the small intestine as it joins onto the stomach. Past month and a half it's been a case of having them removed because they were causing all sorts of weird and wonderful problems. Namely me having to sit on the loo a lot. Wasn't nice. Just wasn't. It was not nice. I just no. Doctors don't know what the fuck caused it. It just happened. What with all that going on, there has been very, very few reviews on this. I've been basically recording reviews in between bouts of me being in the hospital or bouts of me feeling good. But the final visit to the hospital is going to be tomorrow. The operations are all done. This is just a final checkup, so they shove another camera down the throat to see what the hell's going on down there, to see if anything else crops up that's wrong. But it looks as if they're going to be giving me the all clear, and to be honest, I do feel a hell of a lot better than I was at the end of, well, not even the end, like midway through June, going into the end of June, beginning of July. Reviews. I've actually got 3 reviews in the can. One of them is for this, the Kuka. I see Bogan's already put his review up, but he's a lot more healthier than I am. Yeah, it's the Kuka. This funny little thing. It's it's another bloody borrow device, but actually this one's not bad. Yeah, the camera's lagging a little bit. I don't know what the hell's causing that either. You're just gonna have to deal with it. They've made 2 versions of this. This one's the DNA 60 one. That's the one I've just done. I've just recorded the review for. And the second one's got their own proprietary chip. But what's impressing me is what's in here. That's the rebuildable borrow tank. Semi-transparent barrel. Semi-transparent barrel. It's acrylic. It's an acrylic of some kind. So you can actually see what's going on inside the actual build deck. It's a rather nice bit of kit. Plastic as well, so it's very lightweight. I've been thoroughly enjoying this. Oh! Ethos. Batteries are in. Hit the up and down button. There we go, 46 watts. Hit the fire button. Dead. Now here's the thing. It's this part that's dead, because see if I get screwdriver. There's the 2 contacts. Yeah. This is gubbed. Now I figured if anyone cast their mind back to the review, I said this is the weak point. This is the weak point of the Ethos, and I was right. It's clicking, but there's fuck all happening down below, and I've cleaned it. I've cleaned the contacts with isopropyl alcohol, cleaned the contacts with isopropyl alcohol. Nothing. It's just dead. Absolutely dead. And they never sent a spare front panel. It was just this unit that they sent for review, so it's now a very, very heavy paperweight. I've still to send an email to Dovepot to see if they can send me an extra black band, because I like this. God, I was using the fuck out of this thing since I got my hands on it last May, but I like this thing, but can't use it now because the fire button's dead. However, I've got this little fella. Battery power sucks on it. Look, it's only a single 18650. It's that rebuildable. That fucking phenomenal rebuildable head in this. It's good solid flavour. Good solid flavour. Anyway, reviews are coming back this week. I've got a juice review for this stuff, which is Perique from Drake's. Is it Perique? You think it's the Perique that's up? No, is it? I can't fucking remember. The review schedule, which is all the stuff that I should have reviewed last month, and a big last month, and a large chunk of the back end of July. That schedule's fucked, you know, it's screwed, so I'm chopping and changing all the stuff that I should review first. I think it's the Perique that's up for review. New pod kit from Vapor Esso, because pod kits and this little fella, that's the 3 reviews that are coming up this week. The reason that I'm doing this video, though, I mean, I could have said all that in the What's Up coming up on Sunday, but the reason that I've done this video now is some news got released at the very tail end of September the 11th, which was yesterday. The UK government is now, by the looks of it, at least according to The Guardian and The Telegraph and Politics UK, the UK government is now on the verge of banning disposables. Now, we're not the only country in the European continent, not the Union, but the European continent, that are doing this. France, it has been announced, is also going down this same path. Now here's the thing, if the UK, or not if, when, and I said this would probably end up happening, it was either this road they were going to go down, or they were going to go down the road of severely restricting the sales of disposables. But the UK government just said, fuck it, we'll ban them. That's exactly what they're doing, they're banning them. When the UK bans disposables, it's not going to be much of a drop in the ocean because we're no longer part of the European Union politically. However, France is. And the thing about the TPD, the Tobacco Products Directive, is it's a framework that the European Parliament can tack things onto. It's why in Germany they're allowed bigger tank mill capacities than practically the rest of Europe. It's why several countries in the European Union are able to push through flavour restrictions or outright flavour bans, but the rest of the European Union doesn't need to, because the TPD in the European Union is a framework. It's a basic set of laws that the individual countries that make up the European Union can tack their own laws onto. France is one of the major players in Europe, along with Germany, of course. If France does go ahead and bans outright the sales of disposable e-cigs, I can guarantee you that the rest of the European Union will end up following. If not in 2024, they will probably follow at the beginning of 2025. Germany and France are the 2 major countries you've got to keep a very close eye on if you're a vapor in the European Union. The taxes that have been implemented in Germany, it's only a matter of time before that kind of thing happens in the rest of the European Union. But what France is doing to the disposables, along with the United Kingdom, is sending a clear message to the rest of Europe. Hey, we've recognised disposables are now a problem. We're getting rid of that problem by outright banning the fuckers. Now, there's supposed to be some kind of apparent announcement from the UK government about the banning of disposable vapes sometime next week, according to the Telegraph and the Guardian. There's probably going to be some announcement during Prime Minister. No, it won't even be during Prime Minister's questions. It'll probably be but some kind of announcement from the Health Secretary for the Department of Health. He's probably, or she, I think it's a she. Who's the Secretary for Health? Is it a he or a she? See, I don't really care right now with the government because, you know, they're dead in the water. It's a lame duck government right now, but, you know, they're doing one thing, they're banning disposables. So what does this mean for vaping as a whole for the rest of the world. Well, here's the thing. These numbers may not stand up now. This is pre-COVID numbers. We're talking 2019, 2020, when I was chatting to what was the marketing team for Geek Vape until basically they all got fired or they left. The UK, this is country sales, not region sales. The European Union is a region. We're talking individual countries here. The UK is among the top 5 when it comes to country-based sales, profits from vape devices made in that country. The UK's in the top 5. United States, Germany, they're in there as well, obviously. So, with the banning of disposables in the UK, with the collapse of the disposable market already happened in the United States, and with what looks like the first domino falling for the disposable market, with France banning it in the European Union, it is only a matter of time before what's left of the disposable market essentially crumbles. And what that basically means is that vape companies are going to have to do something different. You're going to love this. Hold on. Come here, you. And what one is it? What are we looking at here? It is UL Caliburn GZ2, which is that. UL Caliburn AZ3, which is that. We've got this, which is the UL Caliburn G2. This is an older release, mind you. This was released about a month and a half ago. And where's that other one? UL Caliburn G3. So that's 4 individual Caliburn kits that have been released within the space of a month and a half. And when you look at the Lux Expo, whatever the hell they're calling it, Vaporesso device review that's being released this week, Vaporesso's doing the same thing. Vaporesso has released 4 individual pod systems within the space of a month. This is what the companies are now doing because they've seen what's about to occur. Now, did they know about the impending ban long before the public heard about it in the rest of the UK? Because not only UL, but Vaporesso, 2 massive companies in the electronic cigarette land, have decided to churn out pod after pod after pod after pod after pod after pod at a time in the marketing cycle where sales aren't all that big in the Western market. We're looking at the tail end of summer when most people are on vacation because the schools are on vacation as well. We're talking about June, July, August. There is never massive release cycles in the Western Hemisphere during those 3 months because everyone's on vacation. There's not that many people spending money because the money that they do have is being spent on holidays. Did UL and Vaporesso know that this was going down the pipeline? Did they find out about it from a politician who's friendly towards vaping? Did they know that this was going to happen? Because it's very unusual for 2 companies that size to release that many pods in such a short space of time. The only other time that's happened is with the introduction of the second generation, Gen 2 pods, and we're talking 5 years ago. As Vaporesso and UL hurriedly releasing updated variants of their pods, knowing that the UK and France disposable markets are about to collapse because both governments are implementing a ban. So UL and Vaporesso are rushing in there to fill the store shelves for VPZ, for Totally, well, not so much for Totally Wicked, but for VPZ and for all the independent vape shops who are now looking at a ban of disposables in their shop. And they're wondering, hold on a minute, what the hell are we going to do to replace those? Oh look, there's now literally eight brand new pod kits released onto the market within the space of a month. Never happened before. Well, it has introduction of Gen 2, but that was half a decade ago. So there we go, folks. The age of the disposable in the UK is now officially coming to a close. When the ban will take place, it probably won't take place until next year, because I highly doubt the Conservative government's going to go, that's it, we've announced it, it's all banned, because there's all these vape shops out there that has got thousands of pounds worth of disposable stock sitting in their shop and in the warehouse that they're going to have to sell because they can't just destroy it. That's just a loss. So what the UK government's probably going to do is say, okay, we're going to ban disposable sales on midnight, January 1st, 2024. That's probably what they're going to end up doing. They're going to give a long lead into this. That way vape shops up and down the UK can get rid of any stock they've got left, essentially. Because there's a lot of disposables still sitting in warehouses and in stock storerooms for a lot of vape shops up and down the country. I highly doubt they're going to announce the ban outright next week. I doubt that's going to happen, because they're going to have to face the wrath of all the vape shops that have got these things in stock. But no matter when this happens, disposables in the UK is coming to an end. And not just the UK, but in France. And if the European Union follows what France is doing, that's the entire disposable market wiped out in all of the top 5 selling countries. You are going to see the collapse of a multitude of unknown disposable manufacturers, the fucking manufacturers I've never even heard of, but you're going to see the collapse of a multitude of disposable manufacturers. And what you're then going to see is companies like Geek Vape, companies like Smock, who've also made disposables, companies like Aspire, like Vaporesso, like UWell, essentially kick off what is going to be Generation 6 of the pod market, because they're going to need the pods out there to take the place of the disposables that have been taken off the shelves. That's what's going to end up happening. So, yay! More pods. Well, it's better than disposables, put it that way. Personally, I'm kind of glad it's over. The disposable market has wrecked this industry. And I am glad that the UK government decided to step in a little bit late for my liking, but they decided to step in now because they've seen and probably heard from industry specialists about the kind of damage that the vaping disposable market is doing, not just to the market as a whole, but environmentally as well. And not just that, kids. It's no secret that teen and child, well, not so much child, but teen vaping rates, by the looks of things, has ticked up a little bit. And it's not because of these, it's not because of your general pod kits, it's because of the ease of use of disposables and the unscrupulous corner shops that are selling them to kiddies. That was probably the biggest reason that the UK government's decided to step in and outright ban them. Personally, I'm glad it's happened. I am more than glad it's happened, because the releases of these disposables was becoming absolutely fucking ridiculous. Companies I've never heard of, and it's practically an email almost every day from a company I've never heard of saying, "Oh, review our latest disposable, it's the best disposable ever," with the same flavours that 90% of the other disposable market are using, because all those flavours are coming from basically at least 90% of the disposable market is using e-liquids from one company, Hang Seng. Yeah, it's the new Hang Seng range that Hang Seng launched about 3.5 years ago. This is why when you pick up an Elf bar and you pick up a disposable from a nondescript company you've never heard of, and let's say it's a strawberry ice, and then you pick up another strawberry ice from another company, they taste the same. It's because they're using the same juice. And the reason they're using the same juice is because they're all working with the same company, Hang Seng. All of them. Well, at least 90% of them are working with Hang Seng. This is another one of the reasons that the disposables that I review in this channel, they're not using Hang Seng liquids. Not that there's anything wrong with Hang Seng liquids if you don't mind vaping Lyle's golden syrup, because that's what it fucking tastes like half the time. It's so damn sweet. But the reason I just don't review 90% of the disposables out there is, literally speaking, if you've reviewed one, you've essentially reviewed them all, because they're all using the same flavours. The 10% that don't is the ones I'm interested in, because they're using different flavour manufacturers, whether it be like Decang, again from China, or whether it be flavour manufacturers over in the United States, or flavour manufacturers here in Europe, or even flavour manufacturers in Malaysia. Something different, with a different flavour profile. Anyway, the October Expo, as a final parting thought, the October Expo here in the UK, which is on the 27th to the 29th, I think. It's the last weekend of October. The October Expo is going to be very, very interesting. Because if disposable manufacturers are going to be there, by the time the October Expo comes up, the UK government would have already announced the plan to ban these disposables in the United Kingdom market. Number one, if you were a disposable manufacturer and you were looking to break into the UK market, and then all of a sudden you seen the UK government saying, oh, by the way, those disposables you want to sell there, no, sorry, we're banning them. Would you go to the UK Vapor Expo as late in as the end of October, knowing that you've probably only got 2 months left to sell your products? Number two, if a lot of these disposable manufacturers decide to pull out of the UK Vapor Expo, will the UK Vapor Expo still take place? That's the two questions that people in the UK, especially people that are going to the UK Vapor Expo, are going to have to look out for, because it's no secret that the disposable market is essentially paying for the UK Vapor Expo. It's no secret. The amount of disposable vendors that were there, even in May of this year, when there wasn't as many, they made up the majority of the floor space. If they all pull out, knowing that it's going to be pointless for them to outlay tens of thousands of pounds on a stand for a product that they will not be able to sell in the UK within 3 or 4 months, I think there's going to be a mass pull-out of disposable vendors for the May Expo. Not the May Expo, the October Expo. Now, this all depends on when the UK government announces the ban. I still think it's going to be January 1st, 2024. But if they push it out further to, let's say, May the 1st of 2024, then the disposable vendors and businesses who are going to be at the October Expo, they've still got a good 5 or 6 months left to offload their new disposable devices in the UK market. But if the UK government announces that ban is going to take place either on December 31st, end of this year, or on January 1st, beginning of next year, which is what usually happens for bans, it would be pointless, utterly pointless, for a disposable manufacturer to go to the UK Vapor Expo at the end of October. Pointless. Because by the time they get the wholesale, by the time they get the wholesaling, distribution, marketing and sales in place, oh look, it's the end of the year, we can't sell our products now because the government's banned it all. Yeah, I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on the floor plan for the October Expo once the UK government announces the date the ban is going to take place. The further out the date, the more things are looking up for the October Expo, because here's the thing, if too many disposable outfits pull out, there's going to be no way the UK Vapor Expo can keep going, because they need the disposable money to keep the rest of the expo alive. It's very expensive, the UK Vapor, at least to organise it. It's very expensive. If too many vendors pull out, it's going to be cancelled. It's going to be cancelled. Simple as that. So all we're going to have to do is wait and see, folks. That's all we're going to have to do. Anyway, I think I've covered everything I need to cover. Again, didn't want to wait until the What's Up on Sunday. I wanted to basically come out with this news first to let at least everyone in the UK and France know that, hey, guess what? The disposable market is basically no more, at least for the UK and France. That's it from me, folks. Have a good one.